Oh, hey guys, how you doing? Guess what? Today is part two. Part two of putting this 1966 Honda back together again. And right now, as it stands, I'm working on the triple tree. Here's the new piece. There's that piece. But anyway, guys, let's get in that video. By the way, forgot to mention, poor Dito, he can't be here. He can't be here for a little while because he's got a job. He's working his butt off. That poor guy, he's work. I said, you gotta even work more play there, buddy. Anyway, yeah, sorry guys, Dito ain't gonna be here right now. But anyway, let's get back into this again. I'm gonna change this. One side's totally broke. So I got a Trail 71. That should fit on there just fine. And it's got the foot pegs and everything. It's actually got a kickstand. We'll see how that works. So I'm gonna go ahead and change this real quick. And let's see what this thing looks like. And by the way, guys, those bolts right there, they're 14 millimeter, not the typical 12. Unless somebody changed them. Well, guys, got it on. And it seems to work pretty good. Matter of fact, the kickstand will actually work pretty nice without having to use this thing here. So, yeah, look at that. Maybe I should have put the kick shifter on.
Oh, no.
Huh. First. Nah, should fit. Anyway, that one is ready to go. Yeah, I could have painted it, but if I painted it, it will look odd. We'll keep the patina, right? And the brake will still be fine. It's quite bent anyway. I'm going to bend that out a little bit. All right. Moving right along. Well, I figure I might do a couple more things here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and put the piston on. Guys, I'm going with a big bore kit right now. Well, not really a big bore. This is 72cc. Because there's so many issues with this head. I think I got a lot of it done. I had to replace both of these in this head. And I had to replace these caps. The valves were okay. Because somebody, not on this one, but on this one here, they actually ground it. So it wouldn't hit the top of the valve spring. So, yeah. And the piston issue, piston's not bad. It's a little funky looking at the top. Let me do a little zoom on that. Just a little bit of corrosion. And this thing was all chipped up. And Dito brought up a good point. The cylinder looked like it had water sitting in it, so it's pitted. So instead of messing with this, and this timing gear is kind of messed up as well, I'm just going to go with this kit that I've got. This is a new jug. Used head off one of those Chinese four-wheelers. So yeah, I know. I hear it. Hang on. It's just temporary until I get new parts for that. I know it's Chinese, but we're going to put a Chinese 72cc on here. So that's what we're going to do. Because right now, there's some major thunder coming this way. I hear it way off in the distance. It's really shaking the barn here. But anyhow, I figured I'd at least get the piston on. Then I'm going to go in the house, eat some dinner. Now, the piston says, of course, this thing doesn't want to zoom correctly. Where it says in goes to the top. That's your intake. So That's what you're going to want to do. Put a little bit of lube because that thing was so dry. Get that in there pretty good. I gotta find that little ring. Ring? What ring? It's like the crow. A little ring. It was pawned here a year ago by a friend of yours called Tintin. All right. Well, there it is. Sorry, guys. I apologize. Now to get this in without flinging it across the garage. I've done it a few times. Let's see if I can get it in there. Here we go. All right. That's ready to go. Now, you got to set your rings. Make sure those. Of course, you guys know how to do all this. Just get them away from each other. One on that side, that one there. All right. Get this out of the way. All right. Put this on top dead center with the T and the flywheel. And we're going to put our jug on. I don't know how many years this thing sat before it actually ran. The guy said it was been at least 40 years. Maybe even longer. Don't like the way that's going in. There we go. Guys, don't forget to put on your gasket. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem like what I just did. Getting ahead of myself here. All right, you got to put on the O-ring seals as well. All right. You can tell I'm hungry. I'm in a hurry. Don't ever be in a hurry. Just take your time. Enjoy it because you never know when you'll be able to do another one of these. All right. That thing's stuck on there. Come on. All right. That one doesn't want to go through there. What's the matter? Kind of tough going through that guide pin. All right. We have that. I'll put the O-ring in there. You know, if this keeps falling out on you, just put a little tiny bit of grease on there to hold it in there. And it ain't going to fall out on you. Now, let's do this again. Yeah, baby. All right. Put it in there. Make sure we don't break the rings. It'll be a sad day. It'll be an expensive day. They're not that expensive, but still, don't want to do it. I don't want to wait for another set of rings. All right, take this thing out. Usually I have a magnet. Get in there to get that. Pull this chain out. There we go. All right. Now, first thing I'm going to do is put this bolt in. Kind of guys up. The guide pins hold it up straight. That's why they got a Phillips head on there, so you can do this. I mean, you don't have to go nuts on tightening that bolt either. It just needs to be snug. Just like that. All right. I think that's all I'm going to do for tonight, guys. I'm going to get the head at top dead center. That way I can do everything else right there. Boy, I hate that one. That piston's not the right size. I don't like that. Check out that piston, guys. Look at that. Piston's not the right size. Look at that little gap in there. Don't like it. Nope. I think I might just go with a stock piston. Alrighty then. Guys, we're gonna get some stuff out of the way. Alright. Well, now what we're gonna do is put the head on. The piston's in. Now, just so you know, I used a CT70 Taryl 70 piston and rings with a Chinese head. Well, cylinder. Caught myself. It's a cylinder, the Chinese cylinder, and a Chinese head. I think I've done this before, but I want to get this thing running. And since that head's got a lot of issues, I'm just going to go do this. Since I've got like 4 boxes full of this stuff. Yeah, I kind of keep that stuff. If it works, I use it. And I like those motors. So, all right. Now the best thing, guys, as you know, if you've seen in my other videos, make sure you put that point, the little dot pointed out. Make sure your T marker's up, pistons all the way up, top dead center. Now, we're going to slide it in. Got your gasket on. I almost made a boo-boo. Again, I'm going to put this gasket on. Actually, this one would probably be the better one. Somehow it's got a little washer in the middle of it. This little rubber gasket. That's what came with this motor, so I'm going to put that one on there. Then there was a light flickering. It's a ghost. It's getting late, guys, out here. It's kind of quiet out here for me. It's okay. So, that one goes here. Like so. Make sure I'm not going to be losing any other gaskets here. Okay, we're good to go. So I got that gasket on, that thingy there, part of my hair, and guide pin here. That's what we're going to put on. This is make sure that's clean. No marks. That poor Dito, he's working a lot of hours. He wanted to come over bad. Oh, by the way, if this head stops like right here and you can't figure out why it doesn't want to go on, remember, guys, you have the guide pins that are for your valve, for your lifters. They might have moved out. You just got to turn your head sideways. You maybe use a small little screwdriver, push them back, and then your head will slide right on. But see, look at that. Goes right on. I thought for sure that one was stuck. Now, that looks good. Go back and make sure top dead center. Use a light. The point is pointed where it belongs. Guys, I'm so concentrated on, entertaining you guys. I forgot to put that in. That's for the timing chain. Well, Everyone's done it. Everyone's forgot to do something, but it ain't no big deal. Pull it off. Make sure you don't tear your gasket. Guide pins, those all stay there. Now, put this in. Fun part is to get that lined up just right so you can get that in the hole. Yeah, just like downtown. Okay. Now we put the head on. Or is this called a cylinder? Sometimes I'll just do it backwards. It's a head. All right. Top dead center. Gaskets were all on. I'm gonna put in the guide screw. This is for on this side. Let me bring it over to this side, guys. I'm working on this side, and here I am. You guys are watching nothing. I apologize. Oh, you could be watching the classic Doctor Who that I got on in the background. All right. Sit there. There we go. Now, you're going to want to put your guide pin in here. Yeah, I'll help you out with a little zoom. Action. Okay. You put your little guide pin in there. Find yourself a little Phillips screwdriver. And snug it. You don't have to go nuts on those guys. All those are is guides for your heads. So just snug it like that. Just that even to me was too tight. You just want it like snug. I'm gonna do that to the back cylinder head. In fact, I gotta tighten up this bolt. That's the timing chain. Now, timing chain or timing gear holes. Get those lined up. 9mm is the socket for these. Hey, I lost it. Where am I at here? There we go. All right, so these are going to be 9mm. Whether it's a Chinese or a Honda, it is 9mm. And there's a torque for that too. I'll show you my torque. This is my torque. Okay, torque. But I'm sure there's a right way of doing that, guys, but that's just the way I've always done it. You know, I don't have all that money to buy a torque wrench, you know, when I was younger. I did it the best way I could. Now, double check this. I mean, yeah, you could do the head bolts first. That'd probably be smarter. But it really doesn't matter. It'll probably be easier. I guess I'm out of sequence here, but... All right, now, these washers... Let me zoom out. You're going to put your washers here. Now, there's one washer that's actually brass looking. This one goes on the right side, the right bolt. Yeah, the right side bottom, I guess you want to call it. Right side bottom. And then the other ones are just normal. They go everywhere else. But this is where the oil leaks back into the motor. Comes up and then leaks back in the motor through this arm. So, you know, head bolts. You know, there's only one thing I don't like about these motors, these Chinese motors, is the color of the head. It's like that awful bright silver. I like that aluminum look paint that the classic Hondas had. Now, I think these, if I remember right, it's 10 foot-pounds for torque. So if you have a torque wrench, double check it, don't quote me, but I do believe it is 10 foot-pounds. Of course, I have my my torque of doing it. That's never failed me. Let's see, let me get my torque wrench out here. There we go. Here's my torque wrench. I feel a little bit of a tension getting on it. You're doing a cross pattern. A little bit of tension there. Start down here. A little bit of tension. And then go here. So go in an X. All right. Now start back up here again. Let me get a little more tension on it. That feels pretty good to me. That feels pretty good. Not super tight, not super loose. That feels like 10 foot-pounds. All right. All right. Now we're ready to put this cover back on. Find the right one. There's a gasket that's ripped. I think that's it. Okay. Let's get this cover on. Okay, guys, quick update here for you. Well, I had to change the head again. From the Chinese head to the original head. Now, the original head does work with the Trail 70 piston, the Chinese cylinder, which is 72cc. Actually fits in there pretty good. With the Chinese head, though, when I turned the motor over, I'm sorry I didn't film it, but it was hitting the valves, just barely hitting the valves. I mean, you can hear it. Tink, tink. I mean, it would actually kind of stick and push that valve up a little bit. So I'm like, nope. Now, I can resolve it, but I don't take the time to do it. You could double up on this gasket. It might help. You can maybe shave down that piston a little bit, where the valve seats. But I'm not going to get into all that. I just wanted to go ahead and use the original head, jug, Trail 70, 72cc piston. Because this cylinder, the original, I don't know if you can actually see it in here, but yeah, right there. Right up in there, by my finger. It's all pitted real bad. Water sat in it. It would have had to be honed. It could be honed out to something bigger. So we're just going to go ahead and forget that. The Chinese head, the valves were hitting. So we're going to forget that. The original head actually works. It's getting there, guys. It's starting to look like a bike again, somewhat. I even got a Trail 70 foot pegs kickstand. Well, guys, got a problem. Not shifting. I don't know if the transmission's screwed but what? I'm gonna check this out. I'm gonna have to pull that cover off on the other side. Doesn't want to move upward. Yeah, boy. Well, I think another bad sign is, look how easy these screws come out. No effort. I think someone's had this cover off. You never know what these bikes have been through after they've sitting for so long. In fact, that bolt's not even the right bolt. It's too long. This one's not in right. Yeah, warning signs. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Since this thing didn't have any oil in it whatsoever, someone's definitely had this apart. And these are scraped up pretty good, so they had those off. Not the right size screws. Well, the right size screws, but they're not the original screws. That one's beveled and that one's beveled. Those are flat. That's all scraped up, so someone had that off. And that's the shifting part up there. It's not even pushing it. So, guys, I'm gonna have to take this off and then this to see what's going on behind that. So if you've seen my other videos, you've seen how this all comes apart. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this, and we'll get into this as soon as I get it all off. Well, guys, just had to let you know, I had to drill these out except for one. They put Loctite on them. Not a good thing. Don't need Loctite. That's pretty beat up. We'll see how this goes. We're fighting it tooth and nail, guys. All right, guys, I figured I'd share on this. We would do this in real time together. A little shadow going on there, but that's all right. Yeah, yep. That's not even in the slot. What do we got going on here? Before I move it around. Look at that. I see what's wrong with it. It got no gas in it. What they got going on here is a washer right here. It's behind this ground off nut they got on here, which is, I think that's supposed to be a concave, not a 10 millimeter nut. We'll change that. But they had this riding on the outside. This is supposed to be inside here. And this is riding on the outside. I think they were trying to get a hold of this. So technically, yep, they got this all on wrong. You're gonna take this off in order to get behind that washer. So let's take that washer off real quick. Let's see if I can do it. Looks like a 10. Okay. Yep. Now you see that, guys? That's concave, and they used a flat nut. And that's a no-no. Okay? One thing wrong. Number 2. There it goes. And with that washer, now this is supposed to ride in there. Like that. Now the washer is a little bent. It's all bent up. See, there it's bent. There it's bent. So I'm going to straighten this washer out, clean it off, because I'll get a bunch of stuff on it. But technically, without the thing on there, this is supposed to ride in here, like so, and then it pushes your shifting with the wheel motor turning. Will help, like that. Okay, and then it rides back, and there it goes, another gear. So that's why it wasn't shifting. All right, so let's clean this up and put it back together the right way in the right bolts. Okay, guys, now I got the lid kind of, or not the lid, that piece of metal, the washer, straightened as best I could. Let me do a little zoom here for you so you can see a little bit better. Now there's this one stud here. There's a shadow. The one stud here is longer than the rest of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. That fourth one's longer. And that's where that is going to go. So this is inside. And then this goes to that little tiny hole. Now I found another nut here. So I did take off the tensioner here for now. It makes it easier. And remember, this is concaved. I did find a nice concave one out of what it's supposed to be out of. And there is a tiny little hole in the back of that as well that goes up there. So now just to line all this stuff up. And on there. Okay. All right. And we'll put this back on here. The tensioner. Put this back on. We'll tighten this all up and we'll see if it starts shifting. All right, now I got it all back together here. Now it's shifting. Look at there. That should be neutral right there. Yep. And that's neutral. Gears sound kind of rough in there, so that's an old engine. But anyway, that's working. Now I'm going to put all this back together here. Real quick, before I do put all this back together, then we'll get back on getting this thing running. Look at the design of this motor. Since this is a 1966, I never seen this before. Must be it comes up and oils this. That's strange. And that engine is like a SL70 engine almost, with the being a neutral pass first. And then this is kind of wild. That must be a bolt suit for that gear. Never seen that before either. This is my first time on this too. So that's what I thought was cool. All right, let's get back into this. I'm going to put all that back together. Now I got it all back together. I got to put some rural in it. Get that cover on, and then I'll put the spark plug wire on. So, now these are all tight. Everything's tight here. It's on top dead center. I see the timing chain's really loose. So I'm going to fix that. Look at that. That's really loose. So we got to go down here to that plug. And there is no screw. This is an older motor. So I'm going to pull this. And I'll show you what we can do with that to somewhat try to help with that. Yes, I am not using my ratchet or impact right now. Sometimes you have to use something else because it's too close to the table. Okay, in this case, I am going to use it because someone put it on with extra strength here. All right. Woo! Do you see that spring shoot out of there? Ha ha! Well, oh, and there goes the tensioner. It just fell right out. And there we go. Yeah, someone's already pulled out that spring. So let me check something here. Need a lot longer screwdriver than that. Yeah. Let's put this back in. And put that in. Yeah, that chain's stretched in there. But we can fix that at a later date. In another video, I've done it. I'm going to stretch the spring a little bit more. I probably shouldn't have done that because this is already super stretched. And it's going to go doing everywhere. Oh, yeah. Let's see if I can do it. Come on. Just got to get a couple threads going here. Ta-da! Okay. Now I'm not going to super tighten it like someone else did. I'm just going to give it a couple of zings. We'll do that another time. I'll take all this off and we'll fix that. Yeah, it's cheap just to buy another chain. Maybe we'll just go that route. For now, we're just going to have to listen to the ching, 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 ching. I'm putting a new gasket on this one here I found in my stash because check out the original. This is the original. Look how chewed up that is. And that, someone tried using a screwdriver, prying it off. So, yeah, that was garbage. Okay. Now we're just going to go ahead and put the new gasket on here. Okay, now, gotta figure out what I did with the long, here it is. Now it's gotta have the washer on there, but it's gotta have that copper washer. Here it is. Yeah, it's supposed to have that copper washer for the long bolt for this thing. So, take it back any further? No, I guess not. Hey guys. So, get that in there. Huh. I left my ratchet over there. Nice move. Well, here it is. Socket, anyway. You guys having fun? I am. Love doing this. Who knows how long this thing's been broken? And we're going to hear it run. All of us together here. Let's see if this sucker runs, man. I'm excited. Spark plug's in, spark plug's tight, that bolt's tight. Yeah, I hate this spark plug wire. A lot of things I want to change around once I see if this thing runs. You know, get the right spark plug wire on there. A lot of little stuff. Oof. Thunder. That was a lot. I don't think you guys can hear that one on the video, but that was pretty loud. All right. Now, I guess we do, let me put some oil in there so I don't forget. Then we'll put the carburetor on. We're just about ready to start this thing. Woo! Quick tidbit there for you guys. I think it's funny. Every time I go to hit record, the camera goes into take a picture mode. So first thing it does is takes this picture. So when I do editing, I get all these pictures. Okay, as you can see, I'm putting on the carburetor. And I think all I got to do now is I almost forgot, I got to put oil in it. I'm sure it ain't going to hurt it for me to run it for a minute, but it hasn't oil in it. It hasn't had oil in it for many, many years. So it probably want to be a good idea. So I just want to get this on. Oop, I guess that's tight. All right, guys, now that I'm getting the Earl in it, I want you to see this. You ever seen anything like that? Right there. That's the oil plug. It's a spark plug. It works. It's tight. I took it off and to go, wait a minute here. It works. So, yeah. Well, I'm going to leave it that way because I tried another plug from a Taryl 70 and the other engines. They're all too small. So I think they must have stripped it and tapped it and put that in there. A tap like that. Yep. I think so. So. Stargate. All right. So anyway, I've got everything on. I think now we're ready for contact. The oil's in. Timing chain's still loose. I'm going to take care of that later. Carburetor's on. I'm going to get some little go-go juice in there. Let's see if this thing farts. I guess I wanted you guys just to see how bad it's storming out there, but you can't see it on the video. I mean, it's really coming down. Holy buckets, it's windy out there now. Yeah, this storm is really blowing there, guys. Hey, how you doing? All right. Rocking the building here. All right. First time, guys. First time. I'm going to try this. So. Hopefully a key ignition works. If this thing gets away with me. I don't know. Let's see. Ooh, it farted. Well, there's some kind of oil pump here. Wow, okay. Well, that was a waste of oil. I need to find a rag. Well, it runs, guys. Let me get the camera. I'll show you exactly what's going on here. Well, let me raise this up. That way I don't have to bend over. So, I'm going to have to look this motor up. This is one motor I don't know anything about. 1966. I think I've seen them. But, let me show you. Now that was a total surprise to me. Oil started spraying right out of that hole. Now, I think that might be an oil warmer or an oil cooler. Not sure. I'm going to have to get one of the old books out because I bet you that's probably what this hole in the carburetor is for. And it comes out the other side. But where does it go from there? So, I'm going to have to figure that out. Instead of losing oil everywhere. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I figured something out. Tried figuring it out because my book is too new. And the older book is in the house. With that storm going out there, hear it? I ain't going back in the house right now. And I even did a little bit of Googling on it, but still, I was like, you know what? I'll figure it out myself. So, just what I did. All right. So for now, I put a plug in it. I put a little pipe sealer on it. Little O-ring. I'm not sure how that O-ring is going to work. It looked like it might have squeezed out. But how that works is the hose comes from here. Now remember the push rod heads that I had a while ago. Now that line came up here and went into the carburetor right here. Here, I'm not pointing right at it. See, that went in the carburetor. So that went from down here up into the carburetor. And then goes through the carburetor to keep the carburetor warm on cold days. You see it's leaking a little bit. It'd come out of here and come back down and would go into here, which I don't have the original jug on there because it's got issues. So here's the original jug, and that's where it went in. So it went back through there, through that little hole, and just weaked back down into the motor. So that's all that's for. So I personally don't think it's going to affect the motor. It's not like I'm plugging off the oil pump. I do believe it's going everywhere else. If you've seen that picture earlier, that little strange line pointing up in there, I think it's still going to lubricate it just fine. I'll look more into it. I won't run this thing that long until I look more into that. But for now, of course you saw it running, but now let me get it back on the stand. Let's get it running decent and see if I can, probably not today, but maybe tomorrow, I can get it for a ride if this thing is behaving. Let's check it out. Well, I'm also documenting for you guys. Well, I was trying to lube up the cable a little bit because it's a little sticky. And I gave this a little bit of a twist, and now it came apart inside. So, one more thing else we got to fix. Actually, it's another challenge. So let's get this sucker off. Well, it's well lubed. Gookie. But I'm kind of glad it came apart anyway. That's loose. I think there's a screw that goes under there. But I'm just going to go ahead and pull the cable out. I'm going to soak it in oil overnight so it gets nice and lubed up, since it's not frayed anywhere. But I'm going to check. Well, since I do got the cable off now, let's see. Get a good view. Someone made this cable. This is off a 10-speed or something. Or bicycle. Because it's white. And it's stuck pretty good, but you know what? I had an NOS cable in my stash upstairs, same length. Brand new. So I'm going to just go ahead and put the brand new cable on. That's what I have them for. I don't see any more leaks. I got the cable on. Cabling. Gas is on. Seems to be behaving. I see a little bit of moisture around here, but it's probably a bad gasket. I mean, that gasket's 55 years old, probably. So, 56. Anyway, let's give this thing a run. Yeah, let's see if she starts. By the way, don't do this. Only I can do this because I'm stupid. Could break your hand. Oh, man. How many years has this thing not been running? How many years? I don't know. But it's been a long, long, long time. I don't see nothing dripping. I see a little bit of dripness, moisture right around that timing chain adjustments. carburetor. I'm going to shut the gas off just to make sure it stays off. Leak anywhere? Hear that rain? I don't think you guys can hear that, but man, is it really hitting the building. I know, I said that 4 times away. I can need you to shut up about it. Anyway, I'm excited. Now, I got to replace the triple tree on here because it's pretty bad. It's rough. So I'm going to go ahead and disassemble that. I know I can be able to ride it today, but I'll put, well, the air is in the tires still. That one's a little low, so I'm going to put air in the tires. Oh, I didn't check the clutch, so I'm going to check that. See if that clutch is working. And I bet you it's probably stuck. Usually when those things sit for a long time, I should have checked it when I had it apart. Wasn't thinking. Too much I should have taken it apart and checked the clutches. Now see guys, there's a mistake you can learn from what I just did. I'm going to take the oil out, take that side cover off, Kickstarter off, and go through that again if it ain't working, which I doubt it's working. It's still fun. I don't care. All right, guys. Let's, maybe tomorrow, the weather will be better. We'll give this a ride. If not, I'll have to end the video here. Anyway, all right. Till tomorrow, guys. I'm going to get that apart, get that fixed. All right, yeah. I'm going to run it one more time. I don't care. I just got to hear this. I'm sorry. They'll find me on the floor passed out, probably blue, with a big smile on my face. All right. Maybe you're going to get a kick out of this before I go. I'm going to change this exhaust too. There's a big old hole in that pipe there. So that's like Cleveland chuck holes. I'm going to go ahead and I had this hanging in the rafters up in my parts department. This one's in good shape. So I'm going to take this one off and replace it with this one. Yes. Who knows? I might not sell this bike. I might try. If not, I want to restore it. I'm going to sandblast it, go back with the original red. What do you guys think? This is pretty cool. All right, guys. There it is. She's ready. Well, not quite. She needs a clutch. I could tell the clutch is it's weak because you go to kickstart it, it's real slippery. So yeah, it needs clutch plates. But I tell you what, this thing needed a lot of work. Lots of work and still needs more work to go. But you know what? We're going to take it for a ride and see how well it drives. So let's do that. We get it to start. Yeah, that's really slipping. Here we go. Barometer even works. Well, not too shabby, guys. Speedometer even works. Turn it idle down a little bit. We need to break in. Well, that's another one. I got to touch it up a little bit. Let's put a new clutch in that sucker. Oh, come here, damn girl. Check this out. The kickstand I put on there off of Trail 70 works nice. Watch out. Huh? I don't have to put it on the back kickstand. Off and go. All right, guys. So anyway, as always, please subscribe. And you guys have a wonderful weekend, the rest of the weekend, until the next video, which I'm not really sure what it's going to be yet. Good night, guys. We'll see you later.